ahead, we have a panel discussion on the topic Towards a Water Secure Future, Policy, Technology and Collaboration for Viksit Maharashtra. For this, please join me in welcoming on stage Mr. Praveen Kole, Deputy Secretary and Superintendent Engineer, Water Resources Department, Government of Maharashtra. Please welcome all our panelists with a big round of applause. Mr. Viraj Loliyana, Senior Advisor, Maharashtra Institution for Transformation, Government of Maharashtra. Ms. Rajni S. Patil, Executive Engineer, Information Management and Training Division, Water Resources Department, Government of Maharashtra. I request all of you to please welcome all our panelists with a round of applause. Mr. Pradip B. Kalbar, Ph.D., Associate Professor, IIT Bombay. In order to moderate the session, I request Ms. Preethi Rao, Tech Sales Manager, Autodesk, to please join us on the stage. I request all the panelists to also kindly join us on the stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. And as Maharashtra works towards becoming a water secure and a climate resilient state, the role of policy, technology, and collaboration, it becomes very pivotal. And as a part of Autodesk, we believe that connecting the physical world with the digital world becomes very, very crucial through design intelligence, through digital transformation. And as we are planning up new water systems which are therein, the way how it is planned, delivered and operated becomes very, very critical. Now, today's conversation with the panelists will bring perspectives from the policy research front, on-ground implementation front, how technology is being utilized, and what will it take to create Maharashtra a truly water-secure state which is there. So, to start off with the panel discussion, I'll go with the very, very first question to Mr. Viraj. And Viraj, you're a part of Maharashtra's think tank, which is MITRA, which often drives innovation and governance ideally. How do you see the public-private partnerships and interdepartmental collaboration very, very crucial in assuring and accelerating the state's water intelligence?
Thank you. So we recently started the PPP cell under MITRA, and where we are focusing on majorly on river linking projects, then water supply, water grid projects, as well as wastewater reuse projects also. And under PPP, Mr. Ajay Saxena sir is there. He is heading the cell, and we are integrating the various technological solutions into the system. But not only the solution, but we are focusing on capacity building also, because as Meera Bhayandar Commissioner said in the previous lecture, because adaptation of technology is very limited in the department. So we are focusing and we are guiding the how we can formulate the PPP program for entire project, design the project, then how we can implement. So our team is going to guide to the various departments, and also we are going to collaborate with various departments to make them we can say we are making them building the capacity to have a very good execution part for a particular water sector projects. So currently we are working with the Water Resources Department and MJP for various projects on that.
I think you very well highlighted the projects which, under the PPP partnership, which your team is trying to undertake, especially the river linking project which you mentioned. And the other piece which you critically highlighted was the capacity piece which is there, especially the capacity building programs where trainings and teaching people about the latest technology becomes very, very critical in this case. My next question is to Rajni ma'am, and she's a part of the IT cell, which is there in Ideally. And being a part of the WRD department, that is the Water Resources Department, which is therein, from a state water resource standpoint, how do you think that technology can help in prestigious projects like river linking project to balance the drought piece as well as the surplus region aspect?
Myself, Rajni Patil, working under e-governance circle of our department. Basically, I am civil engineer, but yet working in e-governance. That is the major gap, but still we have to work in this field. For river linking like projects, I think the systems like SCADA and RTDAS are helping in collection of data of river basins and storages of our dams. That helps this technology in collaboration with for all Maharashtra as a whole.
Uh, Thank you, ma'am. And the next question is to Pradip ji, ideally. And, being a professor in IIT Bombay, from a research and an innovation standpoint, ideally, what emerging solutions do you find most exciting for water security? You've also worked on improving urban water supply systems. What innovations or best practices would you recommend Maharashtra to scale up, especially in demand management, water recycling, or use of digital twins?
Yeah, thanks for having this conclave. As we have been hearing the bureaucratic leadership talking about how technology is helping them or what they think about the technology, while the technology is advancing at a particular rate, at Mirabai and the commissioner said the municipal capacity also has to advance at a particular rate, which is currently not happening. So unless that gap is not met, many things, technology are available but may not be consumed, utilized. That's what message we got. In terms of cities water supply systems, many municipalities are trying to achieve 24/7 continuous water supply. But if you see the reality, many cities are not also able to provide everyday water. I have seen cities across Maharashtra, across India. I have a very close discussions with Ministry of Urban Affairs, CPHO. The view is that we should ideally achieve 24/7, where these technologies will come in and help. We have to think how this digital technology can also help first achieve the reliability of the system. That how our transmission systems will supply water without very high loss. How our cities are getting water more than 1 hour, everyday water. That is the reliability question. Equitable, that whether all areas getting even water or some areas are basically dependent on tankers or some other group connections. So equity, reliability should be first benchmark for water supply. That I think that's where how the technologies, digital technologies can help in Indian context. Because see, all this knowledge that is generated about digital twin, and I have collaboration with Siemens, many other, last 10 years I've been hearing this digital twin. But when you go on ground, our pipe connections, we do not know where they are going. There are not known connections. I will not use the other term, but not known connections are there. So which is very difficult. How will bring them on the digital twin? Nobody will accept. So we have our own political system under which we operate, our society operate. So we have to realize that these technologies, I'm not saying okay, will not be at all useful, but if you force as per European context, as per US context, it will not work. Adoption will be less. So we have to think how these technologies can fit in to improve one step by one step. First, reliability, everyday water supply, clean water supply, and equitable water supply. Similarly, if you have to transform to circular economy, which another ambition and aim, Amrut and other missions are telling, right now we are facing operating a STP. That is first phase we are failing in many municipalities, because who will pay for the operational cost? So how AI or digital technologies can bring down the operational, let's say, expenditure for operating the sewage treatment plant? And then other things will come, how demand prediction can be done, how reduction of water supply can be done. So many scope I see, But I think the contextualization to the India is not has happened of the entire digital narration that is happening globally. That gap I see.
I think you very well highlighted different aspects, and the cue from the discussion which I could take about is equity and reliability, which is very, very key, which is therein. The second piece is definitely there is a higher level of technology maturity, which is therein, but it should be in face of the current need of the project, which is therein, where we don't know the details of every detail which is there on the ground. So that has to be mapped under the digital twin piece, which is there. And the third aspect of the circular economy, which you brought as a part of the discussion, is very, very critical, sir. And I think that's very, very important as well. We are also joined by a fourth panelist, Mr. Ajay Saxena ji, Sector Head, Infrastructure Development, and PP Head, MITRA, Government of Maharashtra. Thank you for joining, sir. I've just got one question for you, ideally, because you belong to the think tank MITRA, which is there, and it drives innovation and governance, ideally. How do you see the public-private partnership, the collaboration front, which is therein, and what are the strategies that could make PPPs more effective, attractive in the water sector?
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm sorry that I couldn't attend the earlier allotted session. I was having some work at my office. But thank you for accommodating me at least in this time. Okay, that gives me the chance to tell you there is no rocket science in when the word PPP comes. It is the main common sense that should apply. And with the word PPP, we sometimes believe that okay, there has to be an expert who has to do some designing, some structuring of the project, and to do certain strategies that is to be done. Why PPP? There are two specific reasons why do we do PPPs. One is that, yes, of course, that you all know there's a lack of money that you have, and you bring the private sector's money into the welfare scheme of the things where the government is mandated for. To take free decisions in the project implementation. So the private sector comes in. It is wrong to say that he brings in the efficiency you don't have. You have the efficiency, but you can't work because you are the custodian of the taxpayers' money. You just can't spend the money just like a private sector just picks up from the pocketed money and spend. You just can't do that. That delays the whole thing, and that is when the efficiency picture comes in. So this is precisely because of these two reasons we do PPP. What is the strategy? The strategy is very simple. Whatever you do in the daily life also, it is the same strategy. Whenever you are asking for any kind of a partner to come and join you for the duties that you have to perform for your own family also. So it means that any of the other spouse partner, if the lady is there, the husband or the husband is there, then they come, they do it for the family. Okay, that family is a project, and they do it for their kids. They do it for the children. Whatever you do in the family is the PPP. Okay, so if you apply simple logic in the water sector, if you come, just earlier he touched upon the underground network. This is the basic problem in the water sector. Every politician, everybody would like to do the projects over the ground because that has the visibility to the people. So they can reach out to the people. Okay, this water treatment plant has been done by me. Sewage treatment plant. Everything is over the ground. The problem lies beneath the earth. The problem lies there. There are 600 crore projects for the distribution network to be changed without even knowing which pipe is having what kind of a leakage. So as the part of National Task Force, I was involved in supervising the writing of PPP chapter in the CPHU manual. So we have pushed that topic into the manual also, that you should do first first of all, even if you are doing anything in your life, you do the assessment of what is to be done. And then you do the second part is that then you apply which technology, what strategy, what should be the implementation schedule. That comes later. So the condition assessment of any asset should be done first. And for that, I'm happy to note that there is a technological interventions are being discussed. There are startups with the help of IIT Madras, and there are some other startups also who have come up with the robos which can operate with the 500 meters there and 500 meters there, but just by drilling a small hole. The robo size is this much. I have seen the factory also. So robo size is this much. So when that is done, so when you do the assessment of the condition of the underground pipe, you can reach out to some reliable cost assessment. That is the biggest failure in any PPP if you don't do a cost assessment. Under the PPP, most of the people are get confused that, okay, this is the private sector who has come in with this money. He'll do everything possible to make things happen. No. If it is successful, he will do windfall gains and he will never allow you to come to know. And then who is paying? Water is very sensitive. It is not road. Road, the car is being driven by a person who has the money in the pocket. The water is being drunk by the people who do not have the money to eat the next meal also. So you can't draw just like a parallel from the road sector or airport sector to the water sector. You have to give the water even if I am not able to pay, because the government's job to make people survive for the life. It's a life threat for him. So those structures you can't write. We all keep doing mistakes, and if there are consultants, this is very harsh treatment to them that, okay, don't do anything on the Excel sheet just by having the number of users multiplied by the tariff, which makes my IRR to 16%. Don't do that. And any consultant who does it, he does not understand. Those consultants, they don't understand how the government functions. So when the government functions, they work from the welfare side of the things. So how do you do this? So then the water demand, first of all, how much cost you can optimize is the first thing. How much good DPR, what is the qualitative DPR that you have done? PPP, again, the second myth is when the PPP is done, I don't have to do the DPR or any other thing, because people like me would also come and you don't have to define the input. You don't have to define the process. You have to define output. That is correct. That doesn't mean that you don't have a benchmark study also. You have to do the benchmark for everything, even if I have to do the change. What is that? Because when the cost is defined, there are termination payment linked to that. There are so many other things linked to that. But what do you allow him to do the flexibility or the efficiency to bring in? Improve your design. Improve your design without affecting the cost. That is the essence of having a good PPP. Third thing, when he comes on the third is that you have to have some good selection of the operators or the developer. You just can't have a builder to do a water sector because he does not understand the water sensitivities. He is a builder. Now, so the third part is, of course, yes, on the success parameter. Third is good qualification, so that you have a water developers and operators. They understand how to do these things. Fourth is, don't leave him. After the award, you don't leave him. This is your project. If a project fails, many people I have seen in the government for the past 20 years, I have been with the government of Maharashtra from ADB or from various places. I have seen people take pride in telling, okay, that project was not happening. I have terminated the contract. अभी वो मर रहा है, अब उसको मजा आएगा. उसको कुछ मजा नहीं आता है. वो private sector is having 100 crore project in your this thing with the market capitalization of 5,000 crore. It's a small 2-3% job for him. He will just book the losses. He'll run away. But what have you lost? You lost the face or the phrase from the this project was not done for the profitability. This project was done for reaching the water to the people who are not able to do the water. So you have a bigger loss than him. He is only a cash contributor. His losses have incurred. He just books the losses and moves out of this thing. But your city loses the water. Your citizens do not have the water. So make them first put every effort to get a better person on board, and then be a partner to him. Don't treat him as a contractor or as an employer, or don't have the happiness or enjoying happiness that he was earning some profit. Now I have to cancel the because he was earning the profit, that means the project was successful. So why he is earning the windfall profit? Because you have not done the assessment at the time of project development. It is your weakness that the cost was not defined properly. He brought in better engineers. He defined the cost. It was not 600 crore. It was 400 crores. He never tells you, but takes the return on 600 crores. In the PPP, you don't allow him to make any profit, because the PPP is the better, another understanding one should have. PPPs, we always curse the monopoly, because the monopoly comes, then the user are at the employer or the business provider stake. PPPs are monopoly by law. They create monopoly. One airport has come, no airport would come. One road from A to B has come, no other airport would from A to B. How do we curb the tendency of windfall gains? Because we define the tariff, because we define how much to be done, and that is the part of project free feasibility study when you do at the project development stage. My simple thing in the shortest possible time, to let you understand is that the most important critical aspect of having any PPP successful is how much time you have devoted and also the money in getting a qualitative pre-feasibility assessment done, the condition assessment done, the DPR done, even though the DPR may not be followed by verbatim by the project developer, doesn't matter, but you have defined the project in a better manner. That is one. Second, saying so from this dais is as simple as anybody understands the English, or he can speak the same thing from ChatGPT also. So that doesn't make anything possible. When you go to the ground, we developed the project for Aurangabad city for 792 crores, which reached to 992 crores. Some levels of success achieved, and there were various stages of successes. Financial closure, party done. Project award, party happened. Then some 10-20% work was done, and then suddenly the project was terminated. Nothing done. So all the parties are gone to the waste. What is happening? The learning is, water is such a complex sector. It is not a plain vanilla road. Everything you can see on the ground. There are so many users involved. You don't have to deal with the person who is coming on my road. You have to deal with every citizen in the city. So what is to be done? I don't go by overall city level project. In the manual, we have suggested you to select 1 or 2 representative DMAs of 1,000 to 2,000 connections. Do the assessment there and include the study of the assessment of the distribution network and all the water assets in the city within that contract. So within the contract, do a smaller, very small, minuscule project of 1 DMA or 2 DMA. Take 2 DMAs, the city is large, and the PPP of operation management should be written for that, and include the survey or GIS survey of all the distribution network and the condition assessment. Make the project for 3 to 5 years. In those 3 to 5 years, get the city's full health into your control, then design the project and then go for the full scale. In the shortest possible time, I think I can't tell you more about this. It's such a topic that we can keep on discussing for the whole day also. But if you apply these 4-5 specific in the series, they are in the sequence. Don't miss the sequence and do every possible effort, just like you have done the selection of your spouse at the time when you are getting married. So whatever the effort you have done at that time, you do with the selection of the operator, and I think you will find a better operator.
Thanks, sir. That was a really great answer. And I think the key points which I could take as a part of the discussion was, very first is, as critical the over networks are, the under networks are also critical and important. Second, sir highlighted about the PPP partnership. Every stakeholder, whether it is from the public sector, private sector, both are critical in this case. The third aspect which I could pick up is cost optimization. And the last piece which he talked about is technology is therein. What you should do is like implement certain things on a smaller scale of the project and then implement it for the whole of the city which is therein to see how the impact works ideally. Now, moving on to the next question, sir, we'll go with Ajay ji first. If you look at fast forward to 2047, what would success look like when we say Maharashtra has become a water secure state?
I have only one question for you, so I was only prepared for one question. Okay. So what do we do? What water scenario would be there in 2047? So I can speak in 2 ways. One is what we imagine, what we perceive, and what we are planning. Second is what is already put on the drawing. Industry experts and the academic experts all over the country. There were 22 people joined together. 3 years they took to complete the manual. So the manual is available on the line, also in the ministry also. Various strategies, implementation scenarios have been written. Please follow them. Don't treat it just like any other reading or a book. There were people I have seen by my own witness, I can say, not about me, but I have seen people how much time and the devotion that they have devoted to draft even a small 2 pages of paper or something. So 3 years. 3 years is not a small time when 20-25 people core and then extended maybe 100 that people would have worked. So in the state of Maharashtra, we also, our Chief Minister, Honorable Chief Minister also identified this as a very critical sector. And he is not only the drinking water, but also the wastewater. And both the sectors are very well connected. There was a term used, circular economy. What is that circular economy? Is that the wastewater is treated and become potable, or even if it is not potable, at least for non-potable usages, it should be flown back. So it should not be treated only as a cost item, but also as the how it can be put back to the economy so that the water can be increased. So even if water is not drinkable in the wastewater, people will take ages to reach that state. Even if the scientist is drinking the water right from the tap, nobody will do this thing. But if that thing also happens, if we can treat the water and put back to the source, your allocation of water increases. That is also being planned, and we are putting up the papers and the policy also. So if there are 90 mld water that you get for a city, or 10 mld water that you get for the city, but your requirement is 15 mld, and you have a waste water of 3 mld which is treated and which is not being used, either put to the non-potable use. So this is what we are envisaging, or put back, even if there is no industry, put it back to the source, talk to the irrigation department, they should allocate you more water. So you get 13 at least, or 12 at least. That is one. Second is that, how do you do this? You don't have money. Cities don't have the money. Cities are at precarious stages, leaving apart some top 10, 15 municipal corporations. So you all are on the budget, salaries are delayed, all those things are happening. So we are putting up a loan together at a soft loan. The state government has gone ahead with the World Bank, and the AIAB also is working, ADB is also working. And we are trying to get the loan done. Our Chief Minister's vision is that the city should not have any wastewater which is left untreated in the next few years. So once that is achieved, definitely there would be an increased water, also the water distribution system well networked to the industry also. The industry would not be using the drinkable water, and then this can be, the drinkable water can be increased, and also the rationalization in the tariff can also be achieved. Third is that even in the drinking water, there are projects being written that and the strategies have been designed so that every citizen should have the water. And that is why the term 24/7 water is being repealed. Okay, that has been taken back. And the water from tap is the new word which has been coined by the ministry. When they launched this manual, they said that, okay, we are going for drinking from tap. So DFT is the word, and which is what we expect, that you don't have to drink mineral water or some other water or put filter. The water should be of such quality that it is not only available to you, but available to you safe and this thing. So this is the vision we have, and me as personal person thing means I am the PPP promoter, and I love being saying that. And I can see that, okay, if any economic revolution also can come, it can come only from the PPP, because where other you would find 100 rupee project can be done by 40 rupees taxpayers money. Okay, so this can, the additional 60 comes from there, although we are giving them repaying them as the user also, but at least the capital is available to us. So I would love to have most of these things, wherever a PPP ability can be done, please do it with PPP, but don't do a PPP if you don't understand, and if you don't do, and with the confused mind or with the confused consultants, don't do that. It is better to do EPC then. At least you know what is to be done. You have a measurable target. You measure the pipe which is being corrected, and then you pay.
Thank you, sir. I think very well talking about the circular economy, talking about drinking water from the tap, which is therein, and the third aspect of the importance, refinement, and the research which has gone behind the CPHE manual, which is therein. I would like to ask the same question to Pradip ji. And I'll repeat the question once again. If we look at fast forward to 2047, what would success look like when we say Maharashtra has become a water secure state?
Yeah, most of the points sir has covered. But when we say water, yeah, PPP is as ideal as very good model, but implementation, if it is half done, half cooked, not understand by the people who have designed the PPP, and I evaluated some of the PPP contracts for municipalities doing 24/7, and it has not worked. Because as sir has said, it was not designed or not qualitatively assessed properly. So what happens is, for water, it's very tricky. One is quantity issue, that you have to supply some quantity for different purposes, urban, then you have rural, then you have industrial, then you have agriculture. And these sectors at different level are looked separately. That what water cities are consuming, it is taken from irrigation quota that commissioners have said in the morning, that they do not have dedicated sources of water. Now there is a trade-off, that irrigation water is depleting and we are already cities are growing. So by 2047, how we can decouple these two uses of water, or can we create a circular economy kind of model where industries come as a third private party and interact with both the irrigation and the city and develop some model. The problem lies with the policy or the stakeholder interest. I'll give an example where if the industry, like in PCMC kind of area, where Pimpri-Chinchwad kind of area, where city has a sewage, industries are there, but when city wants to sell the water or industry wants to buy water, MIDC come in picture. MIDC has their own water supply systems, and their revenue is gone if they become friends. So that's at the policy level, at MITRA level, maybe can be taken up, where how can we sort the stakeholder issue, different interest of different parties for the sake of water needs to be compromised. That was the role of MWRRA, that's the role of many other policy think tanks, which is not happening. Second is economics has to be worked out. Before coming to this conference, I was in Trident Hotel. I was invited to visit their sewage treatment plant, which is advanced MBR based. Many times we see that city municipal plants doesn't work. They are not create recycling water. For last 10 years, they have using the recycled water. Why they are doing it? It is just economics, that freshwater price to them is very high. So freshwater price is about 100 to 150 rupees per meter cube commercial rate. Whereas the recycled water they are getting of about 100 meter cube per day, which is at a cost of 40 to 50 rupees. So definitely it works out for to have their own sewage treatment plan working. So all these learnings from private sector, small entities, municipalities have to bring together to form a circular economy vision. In our research group at IIT Bombay, we have developed a framework for every city. What priorities? There are six strategies for circular economy. One is reduce, which we forget. The reducing the water, which doesn't require infrastructure. It is the communication, awareness, and that's where role of ICT, all that. Have you seen a commissioner spending 1 crore rupees, 100 out of 100 crore rupees on reduction of water? Because infrastructure, as Sarah said, visibility of the infrastructure comes at the first place. So reduction, reuse and recycling within the city, and reclaiming. Reclaiming means that you tie up with surrounding industrial estates and ask them to reclaim the water. And then finally the restore. Excess water can be restored through proper scientific methods of groundwater recharge or natural ambient sources. So when you see a water vision for Maharashtra, Viksit Maharashtra, I would say that all these 5R plus recovery, water is a resource also. It has nitrogen, phosphorus from the sludge. So we are having all the nutrients coming in the sewage and we are not utilizing them. So we have to think of sixth R, which is recovery. So unless these all 6 R's are applied and the resilience, climate resilience is not thought of, decentralization at a particular scale. I see 2 large treatment plants or 2 small treatment plants. But ideal sustainability and resilience, we have done a lot of research on these topics, lies between, for each city, there is a particular scale of operation which has to be enabled. And that is currently missing. So a lot of knowledge is there globally about how to do water management. In India, we have our own traditional water systems. We have Indian knowledge system. We have to bank up on them. I use a hydraulic structure called water tower shaft, which is being used in India for 400 years, which is forgotten. Maharashtra Jivan Pradhikaran Irrigation Department used to do that 2 decades, 3 decades before. Now they have forgotten. We have brought back that. One of student has a startup on that now, based on Indian knowledge system. So I think Viksit Bharat will be based on a global insight with indigenous ways of doing things. Thank you.
I think, sir, you very well highlighted the point of water being of very critical importance. But when we talk about water being critical importance, you talked about the policy front, which is therein, where different stakeholders, whether it is on the state level or the city level, should combine together to build up a single policy and framework, which is therein. And the second point is on the 6 R's, preferably reduce, reuse, reclaim, resilience, etc., which is therein, or recover, which is critical as a part of the water projects which we look for 2047 ideally. I would repeat the same question to you, ma'am. From your perspective, how do you see Viksit Bharat 2047, especially on to become, for being Maharashtra being a water secure state?
Perspective, I think water, like WCD, WRD, MJP, municipal corporations, if those all departments work togetherly to reduce the use of water and also use it efficiently, then definitely we will get success in resilient and sustainable water sector.
I think the solution is in itself. Ma'am talked about the collaboration aspect of all
collaboration. For that only we are using these technologies. Means mainly the two components are there in this water grid, smart water grid. First one is networking and second one is systems. Those modern technologies, smart water metering and automated metering system. If we use this, definitely we will go for bright future.
That's good, ideally. I think collaboration is definitely mentioned as a key piece. Technology is therein. You talked about smart grid and water metering system, which is very, very critical for 2047 vision. Coming to the same point which is therein, sir, what is your point of view on the Viksit Bharat 2047 for making Maharashtra a water secure state?
So I will not go for 2047, but what we have to do right now, that one is the aging infrastructure. So there are many water infrastructures now aging because it was built 30, 50 years back, and how we can, reduce the transmission loss. So how we can use the technology in that. There are many satellite monitoring technologies and AI techniques are there where we can find out the leakage detection underground through SAR images and like that. Another is we have to adopt the basin level governance to integrated approach. Like many water resources department developed in Maharashtra particularly in India only Maharashtra developed the integrated water resources plan. But at the city level or the different organization are not as ma'am mentioned that the coordination approach should be there because water is not very specific at particular boundary. It is flowing through particular drainage pattern is there. So water is a very not specific area subject. So that should be the second point. And third point is to develop the capacity from the utilizing these tools and techniques, not on the side of, the intelligence side, but how to make this utilize, like software solutions are there. Nowadays, I'm working with software since last 15, 20 years. And when I see with the work with the government department, nobody is giving, the software solution, only licensing or selling. So that should be, complete solution because government people wants complete solution type of services, not like only licenses. So such kind of business model has to be on private sector side should be reformed so that, the sustainable, the true means of sustainable solution we can deliver in the. So these are the short-term program and by taking short-term decisions, we can achieve long-term.
I think the perspective which you said is कल क्यों करना है आज ही करते हैं और अभी करते हैं. That is very very critical which you highlighted. And I think you also mentioned about critical information and piece of data which is available through the satellite imagery system which is there. And ideally technology shouldn't be sold as pieces, but it should be sold as a part of the workflow, so that it fits the workflow and it is definitely implemented on the field, which is very very critical, ideally to be used for the technology front which is there. I think we are at the peak end of the discussion. We have completed our discussion. I would go to every stakeholder as to any critical point which they want to share as a part of this particular panel discussion. It could be just one statement which they want to give to the audience as a part of the final panel discussion ending. Start from you, ideally, first.
So I already mentioned about the software part, because this Autodesk is one of the software. I usually tell to ISRI people also. The business model should be, if we want to do more business with the government sector, the software should be utilized more. Nowadays, the software is not being software, or because government has a data and information. The software solution is software is there with the private sector, but how we can integrate both the things. So such kind of business model has to be seen, because if we are using WhatsApp, we are using freely. So more people are adopting those kind of business model. So how Autodesk or in India we can, because we have a large amount of data. Big data analytics, and we are talking about that, but it is not getting implemented proper way, and that's why the solutions are not that much. So this point is the business model should be the software should be utilized more and more into the system.
Thanks, sir. That's very well noted, and I think being a representative of Autodesk, we are definitely integrating with other technology organizations, being mentioned ISRI, one of them ideally. The second piece is, you're very, very right in this case, is implementation to the last level is pretty key with technology. It shouldn't lie just in boxes, but to be implemented in the project environment as well. Ma'am, we'll move on to you. And what is that last key pointer which you want to share with the audience as a part of today's panel discussion?
Capacity building is need to focus more for all of service providers, also water user associations in our department case, NGOs, whoever connected to water users, those need capacity building.
Thanks, ma'am. And I think being a part of the public sector team, I do understand capacity building is critical. And I think many of the officers whom I have met in the past as well, and they have highlighted this point as well. And I would like to mention that in order to address that, Autodesk as a technology partner, we have aligned with the platform called as Karma Yogi, where we regularly publish a lot of information, a lot of courses on the technology front. The second piece is, what we've also done is, like, we have customized packages for Viksit Bharat. We call it as the 2047 Viksit Bharat package, which is specifically customized for government project as well, and as a part of the tech front. And the third piece is, I would give an example with for example, with the Central Public Works Department. What we did is, like, we aligned with their capacity building program, and we regularly conduct a lot of workshops there, where Autodesk directly represents that. That's just one of the examples. But similarly with Maharashtra, the last capacity building which happened in Yashda, Pune, we also were as a part of that program as well. And we look to participate in many such programs as well, ideally. Sir, I'll move on to you, Pradip ji. And what is one point which you want to share with the audience right now as a part of this panel discussion?
As I said, while we can think and plan for 2047 targets, aim, vision, the solutions that we are identifying has to also address the current issues of reliability and equity in the water sector, because as water is really a human right, so it has to be looked from the very different lens. So we have to use solutions which fit to our socio-economic conditions, which fit to our governance mechanisms, where people can own and operate these solutions. Then only the water sector can truly achieve the uh, uh, targets that are set for 2047.
Very well, sir. You critically mentioned water is for the welfare of the society. Taken the point that equality and reliability is very, very key as a part of that particular Viksit Bharat 2047 vision, sir. Sir, moving on to you, what would you like to share with the audience as a part of
First of all, I have some apprehension on the question itself. What is the most critical that I want to share with you? What all I said earlier was also very critical. So I didn't do anything. I didn't do any speak. That what I spoke earlier was just in that. All was critical. So, but to summarize in one sentence, it is to be do your homework properly. When you are listening, when you are doing anything, I heard many a times capacity building, planning, everything. But I have never heard somebody telling you that please apply your common sense. And who has told you how to run a family? Who has told you how to find a school for your kid? Who has educated you or build your capacity to spend your money when you are going to do a car or a cloth or something? You apply full brain, you apply all common sense, you apply all logics. Same logic, same thing should be done. Whatever you are doing with the pocketed money decisions, you should apply the same logic, same senses when you are spending the public money. I think in one sentence, if it is to be summarized, this is it. And if you do that, then you will go, even if you don't know, you will go to Google. Even if you are not finding at Google, you will go to ChatGPT. Even if somebody is a wrong consultant suggesting you something, you will just not adopt and complete your task because you don't do the task or target at your home. Okay. You do everything with the full application of mind, apply that mind. No, don't wait for any expert to come and tell you. Don't wait for the capacity building to come and tell you how to reach to 24/7. Okay, don't reach to anything. And yes, we have to have a vision when we are selecting a school for my kid. I'll always think that how better he would be doing at these when he reaches to 12th. But I also keep monitoring him what the tutor or the teacher is teaching him in the next day also. So we have the short-term plan, we have the medium-term plan, and we have the long-term. 2047 is a long-term vision. To achieve that, we have to have micro. I think all three of them have told something in the pieces. That and do it. Don't wait for anybody. Do your homework properly and start with the feasibility. Start with the good assessment of the work. That is the most critical. We in India, we are not spending even the small amount of the things in the planning. But when we do it for ourselves, we do every possible thing first to plan and then to execute. Do the same thing at the work also. Thank you.
Sir, thank you. And that was a nice correlation with your personal funding, which you're doing on the short term, long term, medium term, and also the emergency funding, which you need to do in sometimes ideally. And that was very critical. The last piece, which he also talked about is we have a lot of technology platforms. We have got a lot of learning platforms, which is there, and people still talk about capacity building, etc. I think he also mentioned about logical thinking, common sense, etc., which is also a critical piece if you want to learn a particular skill, pick up a particular skill, or train somebody ideally in this case. So that brings us to the end of our panel discussion.
Requesting all the panelists to please be seated. Thanks a lot for an insightful panel discussion. Really interesting discussions came up. And please give a round of applause to all our panelists present here. I now request Ms. Sangamitra Mohanty, co-founder and director, APAC Media, to felicitate our speakers with a token of gratitude. Mr. Ajay Saxena, Sector Head, Infrastructure Development and PPP Head, MITRA, Government of Maharashtra. Please give him a big round of applause. Thanks a lot, sir, for accommodating our request to be a part of the panel discussion. Thank you so much for joining us today. Mr. Viraj Loliyana, Senior Advisor, Maharashtra Institution for Transformation, Government of Maharashtra. Please give him a round of applause. Ms. Rajni S. Patil, Executive Engineer, Information Management and Training Division, Water Resources Department, Government of Maharashtra. Please give ma'am a big round of applause. Mr. Pradip P. Kalbar, Ph.D., Associate Professor, IIT Bombay. Mr. Pradip P. Kalbar, Ph.D., Associate Professor, IIT Bombay. A round of applause for sir. Ms. Preethi Rao, Tech Sales Manager, Autodesk. Please give her a round of applause. I request all our panelists to please come forward for a group picture. I also request Ms. Nisha Samant, Associate Editor at APAC Media, to please join us on the stage for a group picture. She handles our Maharashtra Bureau.